Okay, today we're going to look at the prone T, otherwise known as a posterior deltoid fly at a partial range of motion. This is known as a corrective exercise to counteract poor posture. Kelly is really experienced with weightlifting and strength training, but also works a desk job and sometimes complains about lower back pain and neck pain. And she does have some internal shoulder rotation. So this is an exercise that will help counteract that poor posture. I have Kelly lay with her forehead down here on the towel and her arms abducted at about 90-degree angle from her body. I'm going to go with the thumbs down, and what I'm going to cue the client is to have the shoulders down and away from your ears. It's another way of getting them into scapular depression. You want to keep them the scapula as depressed as possible. And the prime movers here are the posterior deltoid, the mid-trapezius, and rhomboids. What I'm going to have Kelly do is to first retract the scapula, and then lift her hands off the floor as far as she can go while maintaining good posture. Stabilize for a second, and back down. Basically want her to keep her arms in the same plane as gravity. Retract the scapula, lift those hands off the floor, pause for a second, and back down. You want to make sure she maintains the 4 points of posture, which is that head neutral. Now, she may want to lift her head slightly off the towel, but the key is we don't want her to crane her neck and be like looking straight ahead. Its head is neutral, shoulder blades are down, core is engaged. Okay, good. So some mistakes that people make with this exercise is they'll, like I said, crane their neck. So if you lift your head up for a second. And what that does is just forces all the tension into the upper traps, which is what we don't want to do. Those are already overactive in most people. We're trying to get out of the upper traps and into the mid traps, rhomboids, and posterior deltoids. That's one mistake. Another mistake people make is that they just follow that path that their body knows, which is internal rotation of the shoulder. So if you lift up and then kind of just do that sort of that thing, that's not helping the situation here. That's just kind of going through that same plane of motion that most people are already strong in. What we want to do is, again, put those thumbs down, straight line with gravity. Mid-trapezius, rhomboids, posterior deltoids, and back down. Good. Now to progress this exercise, what I'll have Kelly do is to externally rotate the humerus and basically have the thumbs pointing up, and same movement. Shoulder blades are down, shoulders down away from your ears. Mid-trapezius, rhomboids, posterior deltoid, and elevate those hands off the floor. Pause for a second, and back down. And then to progress even further from there, we're going to a Y position, which is about 120 degrees of shoulder abduction. Again, shoulders down away from your ears. Scapula is totally depressed. Retract that scapula and then elevate those hands off the floor. Pause for a second and back down. And once the client's able to do 2 to 3 sets of 15 reps with good posture and good form, then we might consider adding weight. Really light weight for these. Start with like a 2.5-pound dumbbell in each hand. Probably wouldn't go any heavier than a 5-pound dumbbell with most clients. Other stabilizing muscles that we'll be using here are the back extensors, the lower back muscles, core, the triceps to extend the elbow, and upper traps obviously to stabilize the neck and shoulders. And that's your posterior deltoid fly, otherwise known as a T.